Good afternoon, everyone. Today is April 10th, 2015. I'm going to take a little ride here. This is Rock Creek area is what I call it anyway. It's a Mark Twain National Forest just outside of Cassville, Missouri, on Highway 7686 is what you turn off on. This ride through here, there's two parts to it. The first part is from 7686 to M Highway. That's about the halfway point, and then you can go from M Highway on across the road, and then you go to, actually from M Highway to Shell Knob. So if you're love riding dual sport and you come to the southwest Missouri or northwest Arkansas, it's right next to northwest Arkansas. This is a very good place to go dual sporting. You take the back roads and then you can come down on this one. It actually will get rougher than what we're on now. This is a pretty good maintained road right here. It's been several years actually since I've been in here. We used to come down here ATV riding and riding dirt bikes. And when I do my rides like this, I like to, one subscriber mentioned that he likes when I do the rides because I'm not riding fast. Slow down so people can see. See the trails and see something, not just a blur. Now back when I used to ride dirt bikes, there wasn't no such thing as slow. It was all out. Of course, now one note is that down here in the Mark Twain National Forest, you can't ride dirt bikes. You can ride a dual sport because it's a licensed vehicle, Missouri licensed, Arkansas, whatever, licensed vehicle, cycle, and you can ride ATVs. ATVs is actually supposed to have a triangle on the back and a flag, an orange flag. But dirt bikes you cannot ride down here no more. Now how unfair is that, people? That you can ride an ATV but you can't ride a motorcycle or a dirt bike. Absolutely baloney is what that is. This is really beautiful down through here. Of course, to me, all of nature that God created is beautiful in some way. The Missouri Ozarks, this part of the United States, I really like. Kind of show you, that's a pretty good size hole down there. But and right now it's April 10th, so it's not quite leafed out yet. You can see that there's a lot of red buds blooming out. The dogwoods, right here is a dogwood tree. You can see that dogwood right there is bloomed out. The morel mushrooms is up. I've been finding, not bunches of them, but I went yesterday and I found about 45. For my family, that's plenty. I'll go tomorrow. I usually go every couple days. I've never actually hunted down here. I just hunt on my own private land. But there's a lot of people. It's probably what that Jeep was doing. We just met back there a little bit ago. They'd probably been down here hunting mushrooms this time of year. is really popular. I set the odometer to 0 because I want to see how many miles it is through this part, so you'll know. We went 1.3 miles so far down this road. Look at the red buds. It's actually the first time that I've been through here on this CRF250L. I did take this bike one time to Chadwick OHV Park over at Chadwick, Missouri. And it really done pretty good, except for the stock tires. The stock tires was absolutely horrible. Right now on this road, the stock tires are fine. But when you get in the real rough off-road stuff, the stock tires just, they're not enough. I got a new set of Pirellis actually not Pirellis, Michelin, sorry, to put on my bike. We'll just wait until these wear out. You can see this is actually a pretty casual trail so far. If I remember right, before we get to M Highway, we'll run into some rougher stuff. But who knows? They may have bulldozed every bit of it out by now. It's been so many years since I've been through here. All them people mushroom hunting, they're probably hiding off the road so you don't see them, know where their patch is. But I can tell you now, those sycamore trees like right down through there is probably a very good spot for mushrooms. If I had time, I'd actually stop and hunt. It's pretty tempting. Now this is a Forest Service road. It's not a county road or anything. This is Mark Twain National Forest Service road right here. Fire road. So it's probably not one that you want to take your BMW down. Couple of trails going off of here. I can remember, of course I've been on all of them, and some that actually they've closed off now. That one had a gate. The gate was open, but a lot of the trails that we used to go on, they have closed off. This road is already a lot different than it was years ago when I used to ride down here. They've added chat and spots. They may be trying to make it where the off-roaders won't enjoy going through it. Trying to make it too easy. I'm not going to get too crazy today because I'm by myself. I did actually let my wife know which trail I was taking and about how long I would be, where I was to start it at and where I was going to come out at. It's a good idea. But I don't figure if something happened down here, there wouldn't be too long for somebody to come by. I mean, there's, because of people out mushroom hunting, they come down in here a lot, I'm sure. It's so tempting not to pull off there and look for mushrooms. Like under these sycamores right here. Well, I go up this one. I believe that one right there, dead ends down there just a little ways. You have to come back. Yeah, this road used to be totally nothing like this. It used to be rough, dug out, and now you can sissy ride this trail. The other side, from M Highway to Shell Knob, is a little rougher. You'll come out at Shell Knob just north of the rock quarry, and I'll come back in a few days and make another video of that one to show you. I would actually do it today, but I have some steaks and some morel mushrooms waiting for me to cook at the house, so I'd just run down here and do this one. I cannot actually believe how easy this is now compared to what it used to be. It's crazy the difference. It made it look totally different when they bulldozed it out like they have. I also find some of those morels under ash trees. Sycamores and ash, dogwoods. Beautiful country here. Well, I'm actually glad I'm not running into a lot of cars through here. I've just met that one Jeep so far. We went 3.9 miles. lot of white oaks. A lot of these trees are white oaks up here. There's some red oaks, but a lot of these are white oaks. A few pines. Of course, them pines was actually planted here. They're not native right here. The same way with the cedar trees. I guess I was told they wasn't native of this area either. They've been brought in here. Go up here and take a right. Not really like you can get lost here if you go to one of the roads. It's either going to come out, I believe that one right there will come out by the tower. It's called Lomer Tower. They may not anymore, but I know a way through. There's some doves, there's mourning doves, turtle doves, some people call them. But so far you could actually come through here and be a pretty amateur rider and not have a problem whatsoever, as long as you can ride on gravel. It's still worth the ride through because it's really pretty through here. There goes a red-tailed hawk. We have a lot of the red-tailed hawks around here, and they're strictly forbidden that you kill one of them. And I understand in a way. I also understand that it's hard to have rabbits and squirrels because the red-tailed hawks will kill them. I've seen it happen, and that's why the rabbit population has dropped so much. I was actually one time, it was this last deer season, I was deer hunting, and I was sitting my back against a tree on the ground at the time, and there was a chipmunk, a ground squirrel, come out and it stopped right in front of me, like 10 feet in front of me. It stopped up against a tree, and it was looking back at me, or so I thought it was me. You could tell it was frightened. You know, it saw something, it was frightened. And then all of a sudden, I heard the awfulest crash. It sounded like a crash. I wasn't sure what it was. And I think it scared me worse than it did the chipmunk. But right over my shoulder came a big old red-tailed hawk, and it landed right on that chipmunk and grabbed it. Of course, he turned, the red-tailed hawk turned and looked at me, saw me sitting there, because I think the red-tailed hawk never noticed me until he grabbed that chipmunk. And then he turned and looked at me and took off. But that was a pretty hair-raising experience for me sitting there. I did not expect that. I see why the chipmunk was so scared. It wasn't me, it was the red-tailed hawk that he saw. It would have been awesome to have had it on video. I had my iPhone with me. Of course, who would have thought? You know, it would have been a super to have on video. Well, the road gets a little bit narrower. I don't know, maybe people go so far and they turn around and go back. It's by no means an ATV trail yet, but it's a little narrower, and you start seeing grass growing up between the tire tracks, so it's by no means rough or extreme. But if you rode as many years as I have, I'm 47 years old, started riding when I was about 8 years old, so it takes quite a bit to be a challenge. There's an awful lot of dead trees falling down. Probably tornadoes in the past. Fires burn them. That's why there's so many hollow trees, because when the fire scars them when they're small, the new rings of the tree will grow around the burnt spot, like that tree right there. You can see where it burned out in the middle. But the new tree, if it doesn't kill it, will grow around the burnt spot. Well, the burnt spot is dead, and over time it rots out, and then when you cut it down, it looks like a nice looking tree. You cut it down, well, it's hollow. And a lot of the time loggers have a problem with that, because they go and cut the tree down thinking it's a nice looking tree, it's going to make a good log. Well, they cut it down and it's hollow. Got that. Road. Show you where it goes to the end. That's why people back off, because they run all the way down these trails. This is kind of just dead ends. This camera that I'm using, in case you haven't watched my other videos where I've mentioned it, this is a Drift Innovations. It's called the HD Ghost, and it's filming at 1080p 30 frames per second. Check out a few of these roads while we're out here. Yeah, that one don't go very far either. That's about all there is up this way. We'll go back down and hit the trail toward M Highway. Used to be there was a whole lot more trails, little spurs that went off like this, but there was rough ones, so they cut them all off and got all these super easy trails. There's one of the old trails right through there that's blocked off. They don't want you on them no more. It didn't actually hurt. I used to be on the fire department, and those roads was pretty handy. Whenever there's a fire out and you're fighting fire, I knew a lot of them, so I could cut through. Nowadays, you're kind of stuck to being on these roads here and limited. Oh well, we got some bigwig up there in the office making decisions, don't have a clue about the forest, just what he reads in the books, and that's the people that make the decisions, and the ones that want it all for themselves. Back down here in the bottom with the sycamores, and we'll take a left. It used to go through there. got that blocked off. You can tell this part's not near as traveled. I'm not sure, but they may have blocked off the trail that goes all the way to M Highway, because that should have been it right there. Or one way that you could go. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Do you see how many years it's been since I've been through here? This is a lot better riding through here, in my opinion. It's not such a sissy trail. That mud's a little slick. With these tires, you sure don't want to go flying through here and hit this mud and these ruts, because you will be on your head. I can tell you that. With these IRC factory tires that come on a CRF250L. Motocross tires, something that's more off-road, no problem whatsoever. You can blitz down through this stuff. Yeah, this is going to dead end. You can tell when you start getting in all this grass in the trail that it's not going to go nowhere. We're pretty much done. And if I remember right, it does dead end down here, and there's a fence or a gate. Somebody's farm. There's the gate that I was thinking of. And that's the end of the road, boys. Be a good place to take a picture. and then we'll head back out. Sure is a pretty creek. There ain't much fish in this creek because it goes dry. This is just a wet weather creek right here. Well, we'll head back up out of here, and so I was wrong in telling you that you could go from there to M Highway. They have obviously blocked off that trail. That's where I was talking about it does get rougher. It must have somebody cried about it being rough and they shut it off. So, but I'll come back down M Highway on my next one, and I'll see if we can go from M Highway to Shell Knob, or if they have shut that off. Wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to try to do this summer a ride with some swinging bridges that I know about, and ride some swinging bridges on the trail. Somebody's been through here. Oh, that was me. Just kidding. It don't look like people's been through here much at all, other than me. You can see my tracks. There's not much for fresh tracks. Now, these tires in the mud, once you get in the rut, the problem with these tires is once you get in the rut and it's muddy, you can't get out of the rut because they've not got enough traction to climb their way back up on the top. So don't try it. The best way to do it is if you get in the rut, stay there until you get past it. Otherwise, you're going to go down. Well, I can tell there's not been anybody mushroom hunting down here in a day or two because nobody has been through these mud holes. Right there might have been somebody through in a Jeep. Well, maybe not. It's hard to tell. Not for a day or two. I thought that there was something different when I come down, and that it looked like that trail had been blocked off, and that's exactly what they've done. The best part of the trail, they've actually blocked it off right here. I'll go up this way, but you can see them boulders right there. That's where they've blocked it off. And that used to go to M Highway. So now they built this new road right there, and it goes on up to part of the same place, but they blocked off the actual trail that goes to M Highway. So 7686, the Rock Creek Trail don't go to M Highway. Well, I sure thank you all for watching my video. I'm gonna get off here and I'll go ahead and record, but get off here and cut the video off. Please subscribe and click like. That's the most important thing if you like my videos. And because I'll have a lot more coming pretty soon. We'll catch you later.